1.
Every tick of the clock, the Caribbean family grows to new heights. Family structures, though different, are built from one standard foundation within which romance, finances, child and family care and protection are equally important. Join us as we discuss family matters that are of interest to you and are equally important to us.
This segment of Family Matters is brought to you by
Black Stallion Bedroom Tonic, now available at your nearest corner shop. Buy a bottle today.
Where nephew overproof from what just a do it to culture.
Good evening again, everyone, and welcome to another nail-biting, another riveting, another interesting show this week. As we said last week and we said weeks before, we're going to give you your nightcap, listeners. So tonight on our panel, we have a list of ladies who are very much used to the topic that we're going to be discussing tonight. And I'm going to be introducing them. But before we go forward, I'd just like to say thank you to our sponsors, Black Stallion, very fitting for the topic tonight, and Rare Nephew Overproof Rum. Thank you so much for putting in your hand and making our program a success. One more week for enabling us to give our listeners their nightcap. Now, I'm going to introduce my panelists. First, I'm going to go with Miss Camille Wallace, who is a guidance counselor at the Woolman's High School for Girls. Miss Wallace, how are you doing tonight, my dear?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me on the program. I'm super excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we have next, just sitting beside her, Dr. Kenisha Cousins, our counseling psychologist at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Dr. Cousins, how are you doing tonight, my dear?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me. I'm excited for this topic. Can't wait to hear what is in store.
I can see and I can hear that, my dear. I can definitely hear that. Dr. Asarita Walker, our sex therapist on our panel tonight, she will be taking us down that road to let us know if love at first sight, is it really love? Is it lust? Is it infatuation? What is it? You know, we want to know. So, Dr. Walker, talk to us a little. Tell us, introduce yourself to us.
Hi guys, as she already introduced me, I'm Dr. Asarita Walker. I am more than excited to dive into this topic.
Thank you so much. And listeners, let me tell you, we have practically all our panelists tonight are doctors. And I am going to name all of them. Dr. Loves, let me tell you. So we have Dr. Denise Wiggins tonight, and she's our family therapist. Dr. Wiggins, let my listeners hear your lovely voice, my dear.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much. I can hear it in your voice, and I know you have some very inspirational words to share with our listeners tonight. Now we have Dr. Kadian Hutchinson. Now, Dr. Hutchinson, we will go down in that because listeners, Dr. Hutchinson says she's a love coach. So all of you out there who are having some problems in your love relationship, you know, in your love at first sight relationships, you can hit her up. So Dr. Hutchinson, let them hear your voice.
Hi guys, hi, I'm here. I'm so excited for tonight's topic. So I can't wait for it to start. Let's get in.
Thank you so much. And listeners, as you know, every week we have our resident psychologist who will be telling us tonight, is it that people really feel they lust that for the person and then they say that they call it love? You know, she will be going into the psychological aspect of it. And I speak of none other than Dr. Annalisa Smith. Dr. Smith, they know your voice, but let them hear it one more time, my dear. Dr. Smith.
Hi, my people. Is it love or lust? Love or lust? Let's talk about it tonight.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, as I said before, we went on the streets of Kingston and we did a little vox pop because, you know, we have to add a little spice to the thing. Yeah. So we got some feedback from a number of some of you, our listeners and persons on the street. before I go to my panelists, I would just want persons to hear the feedback of some of the persons on the street where this topic is concerned. Some persons agreed, some persons did not. Some persons believed in it, some persons did not. So listeners, just please, just lend us your ears while we take you to the streets to listen to the feedback of the listeners.
Love at first sight can really happen. Yes, I believe this statement in the affirmative because 11 years ago I met my wife, and today we are living happy ever after. In fact, we got married after 1 year of courting, and so I must give thanks to the Lord for that.
All right, so that's one person who says yes, love at first sight, meet up wife, and you know a straight love means. No lust there, no infatuation there. My wife is married after 1 year, and you know them, I do them things. So he's saying to us, yes, that can definitely happen. And I'll take it now again to the streets where we hear another person giving their feedback on this nail-biting, riveting topic.
No, I don't believe in love at first sight. I mean, I don't think it's even possible. You can become infatuated with someone and you ascribe certain aspects to them that you think you're in love with, but you don't really know the person in truth to say that you love them by just looking at them once. I don't think that's possible.
All right, so one person say yes, one person say no, but it's two males. So I'm gonna take you now to a female, you know, just to hear her take on it. Is she gonna say yes? Is she gonna say no? Listeners, just take a listen.
Love at first sight does not exist. I strongly disagree with that statement. You cannot know enough about somebody to genuinely know that you love them on the first glance.
All right, so Dr. Smith, you heard from the persons in the street. Panelists, you heard from the persons in the street. Some persons are saying, yes, we had one person who actually said it was love at first sight for him because he's now married to the person who he says, quote unquote, he fell in love with at first sight. So Dr. Smith, from a psychological aspect, can you tell us, does love at first sight really exist?
Well, it's funny that you started off with the two males because based on research, it is said that the males are the ones who have this notion of love at first sight. They have it more than the females because guess what? We ladies, you know, we have to make sure, say, look here, if you have right attitude, if you have respect, so you know, so we are like immigration, we have to check the papers. But right, the men, because of attraction, and I think that is what we have to look on that tonight. Now we know this love at first sight thing, is it the love or attraction? And based on research, that's what it is saying. Because guess what? Love talks about intimacy. I think the last program spoke about intimacy as opposed to romance and sex and all of that. But as it is now, this love that they're talking about, love at first sight, doesn't carry intimacy. It's just attraction. So let's hear what the others have to say about that. That's what research is saying.
Interesting, Dr. Smith, because I am gonna say it does exist for some people based on their experience. And I am gonna say probably for others who would not have experienced it, that it does not. But Dr. Cousins, I see your face lighting up here on the panel, and I want to hear your take on the topic. Do you think love at first sight exists? So Dr. Cousins, are you here with us? All right, it seems Dr. Cousins might be having, as you know, we're in the virtual space on our show. So Dr. Cousins is actually having some technical difficulties. So I'm gonna jump over to Dr. Walker, our sex therapist in the house, to tell us, does love at first sight really exist? We wanna know, does it really exist? Dr. Walker, tell us.
Good night again, guys. So I am totally agreeing with what Dr. Smith said. So before I touch a little bit on it, I think we have to look on the forms of love. So you have general love, which is, God's love. So everybody's supposed to have some amount of love for everybody inside of them, which includes general kindness, respect, generosity, versus romanticized love. So romanticized love would be like heart is racing. When you see her, you see butterflies. When you see me, you feel butterflies based off of physical looks.
Yes.
So just to continue on what Dr. Smith was saying, men are physical creatures, so they place their attention on a female's facial features, physical features such as the buttocks, the breasts, skin tone, whatever criteria really each man look for in a woman.
So hold on the Dr. Walker. So yeah, say no. So Dr. Walker, no, I could go down in the granular thing now. So yeah, tell me now, say Dr. Walker now, say. So like when a man see me now, cause them claims them, that matter of fact, them not claim that, cause me know me run up like that. God made me like that. So you mean to tell me, say now somebody can just see me, and just fall in love with me, cause my physical being a rare me. Can just see one man will look good, chest buff out, six pack, bare things, and me just fall Eddie like that, cause we not really fall footing and not really Eddie. That can't happen, Dr. Walker. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, man. There are a lot of persons out there that look at the physical looks and think that this is love, when really they're just lusting from the person's physical attraction, right? Okay. So again, I think this is based on a men's criteria of what they would want to see in a woman, or a female's criteria and what they'd like to see in a man, right? So men are more likely to fall in love at first sight. They wouldn't really call it love, but more love of lust, really.
All right.
So, yes. So all of this is pretty much based on an article that I did on the male and female perception of physical attractiveness.
Okay. All right. So panelists, Dr. Hutchinson, I'm coming to you now because we have shows like Married at First Sight. We have 90 Day Fiancé and all these things. And then people here say, look here now, one look, and I eat that. I know the show from Married at First Sight. Those persons meet their significant other at the altar. So they don't see them before. From watching the show, some persons immediately as them see the person, I hit that. But then you have other persons who, boy, may I tell you, it just no work out. Then you have the 90 Day Fiancé, who these persons, meet online, and from them see them online, heart start race, as Dr. Walker says, skin start scratch, pierce, sweating, things are gone. But is it that they fall in love with the person, or they fall in love with the opportunity? Because most of these persons are overseas. The person that they fall in love with is in America. So Dr. Hutchinson, I want you now to share with us and tell us, do you believe in love at first sight? Have you ever been in love at first sight? Panelists want to not tell me, anyone who never fall in love at first sight. No. Yeah, me are going on the story a little bit. So Dr. Hutchinson, talk to me, please.
Listen to me, no man. Listen to me. Me being a love coach, personally, me can tell you me guilty. Because
okay. All right, Mr. Pan, some kind of like it. Talk to me.
Me can tell you me guilty because me look with my eye first, and me love tall men who are tall. Yeah. My cup of tea. So whenever time I see a tall man, instant attraction. And of course, the Japan boss made enough time, because I thought what I had was love, right? And while many persons, will say, oh, it is love at first sight, or, for me personally, I do not believe in love at first sight, based on my numerous or many experiences of clients who I come across. You understand? So there is really, for me, it's really lost, because you have to learn, as one of the person in the Vox Pop said, you have to know the person, learn to know that individual for themselves, for you to truly fall in love. For me, it was the attraction of the tallness and, you know, what them say about tall men, you know, so it was all lusting for me.
All right,
but
so basically,
other individual would think different.
So basically, Dr. Hutchins, now a lot of people that would drop out and they eye tap in that love something there. And the people that would topple over upon that love something there. Yeah, say, look here now, that I don't know love, you know, that is just lost. That's what you're saying.
Listen to me, because I have fallen so often. It is love.
Yes, yes.
I don't think it is love. It is love.
All right, all right. So before we go further, I know Dr. Cousins was having some technical difficulties, but she has called in and we have her on the line. So I am going to allow my listeners and panelists to listen to Dr. Cousins give her take on the topic as well.
Thanks for having me on your program. It has been an interesting program thus far. The topic, my intake of the topic.
It's a little low, but.
Is it real? Trust me. I don't think it is real. Physical attraction and a spark might be the way that many relationships, you know, begin. But it's not the same as real love.
Okay.
People feel they are falling in love at first sight, could be experiencing just a desire to pull towards another person, but it's still much different than love.
We might still be having some technical difficulties. As I said, Dr. Walker is trying, Dr. Cousins, my apologies, is trying to come through. Dr. Walker, boy, may I tell you, your point so strong in me, like call your name, when me know if you call your name, you know, Dr. Walker, call the point strong bad. But we are going to hear from the family therapist, Dr. Wiggins. Dr. Wiggins, from your experience, can you tell us, does love at first sight really exist, or is it, do people believe that they're actually in love when they are really lost enough of the individual? Following up on what Dr. Hutchinson said, or is it just infatuation? What is it? Tell us, Dr. Wiggins.
Well, from my experience, you know, as Dr. Hutchinson has said, I've had my own fair share of experiences where me just struck off Edway's claims I mean I love, you know.
Right, that's so.
But at the end of the day, when you analyze, as quickly as it comes, it quickly wears off just the same, because all of the excitement and all of the feeling and all of those things, it just vanish away, and you realize that it wasn't love. Because when you really get to know the person, and when people really get to, you know, starting to live with each other and so forth, they get to find out other sides of the person that they don't like so much. And then all of these feeling of excitement and so forth, it wears off, and then people start having they start having disagreements and so forth, and they're not getting along, and further down you see problems in the family and so forth, and pulling apart, and the children are being involved and so forth, where parents have to split up and all of these things. So some of the times that is a cause because of all the feelings in the first part, and then later down they realize that it wasn't really love, it was just lust, it was just infatuation in the first place, but it was not love.
All right, all right, all right. Sound words there from Dr. Wiggins, listeners. I have a little note here in terms of, you know, persons are saying love at first sight is not real love. Well, I know some of you, my listeners, will beg to differ, but the text is telling us that physical attraction and even some spark might be the way that some relationships begin, but it is not the same as real love. Because then we might ask ourselves the question, what is love? Or each person's definition of love might be different. So persons who feel that they would have fallen in love at first sight could just merely be experiencing some form of desire and some form of pull to the other person, you know, but that type of pull and that type of desire, it is still much different from love. So Dr. Walker, I'm coming back over to you, and I want you to tell me, based on your experience, what really is love? Love in the sense of persons falling in love with each other. What is love?
So love, romanticized love really is that attraction that you feel about somebody. So as I said before, your heart might be pounding, your palms start getting sweaty. You just want to ensure that you look nice for the person. You want to go out above and beyond for that person.
Oh boy, Mr. Dr. Hutchinson fix up all our shirt. There's a listener that tuning in and see we are going in our studio here. Look here now. Dr. Hutchinson fix up all our shirt, and Dr. Walker sound like she had throw some stone over my fence. Because look here now, when me meet my husband, and him say, yeah, I'm ready. Me say, look here now, sweeter than me, you can't find it. Cause my ear, me never even have money for do my ear, but me go find it. Cause my ear did have to do, and me that have on the best cause as me say, I topple over and the love thing, But as the text is saying, probably it was some form of desire at the time, but boy, the way me feel, look here now, come like love to me. But Dr. Hutchinson, share with us, man, because look here now, man, listeners, if you could see her face, tell us.
I am really just hearing at Dr. Walker's statement, because it seems as if she walked with a big sledgehammer tonight.
Don't lick me right across the head over this, right?
Because she's been hitting the nails, it connecting.
Right, true.
It is connecting. Let me tell you, man, I do believe in love. Right? I do believe in love, but I do not believe in love at first sight, because I don't think a person can just look on a person and just instantly just fall in love with that individual. They fall in love because that person, it's really just a attraction. You understand? It's really just attraction. I've had clients who came in and, they're all over each other, and they just met like 2 weeks ago, and they can tell me, oh, I am in love with this person. Everything on my list, check. And then a few months after, they're like, Miss, me not tell no lie. It's the worst mistake, but I never try to use my experience to convince any clients at all. You understand? Because I know I have lived their experiences, right? But I am not the one who's going to tell you, say, boy, to the amount of cocoa in my head, because I'm falling so hard for these men and thought that it was love, but it really wasn't. But I do believe in love.
All right, so Dr. Wallace, I'm coming over to you. I tell you, listeners, my male listeners, if you could see my female panelists tonight, some of you would actually fall in love at first sight, I tell you. Dr. Wallace, tell us your take on the topic, my dear. What do you think? Is it love? Is it infatuation? Is it lust? What exactly is it?
Look here, no man. I am here and I'm blushing. I'm blushing from the comment.
Okay.
Here, but for me, I think it is some form of attraction, but I would not call it love per se. I think love is something that grows over time, right? I don't think love just happens as you see somebody. It is an attraction, and that attraction develops into love. And therefore, I am going to go into, as a counselor, I have to draw for my theorists and everything like that. So I will go to I will draw for Robert Steinberg or psychology, who talk about the triangular theory of love.
All right, come through, Dr. Wallace, with the theoretical aspect of it, please.
I have to go into that in depth, the triangular theory, though, however, explains love, the topic of love in an interpersonal relationship. Right? Steinberg describes 3 types of love. And for him, it is intimacy, passion, and commitment. Right? It is important to recognize that a relationship based on a single element for him It's less like to survive. When you just look at somebody and say, okay, I am in love or this is what
all right, all right. Why the story does I get juicy, what Dr. Wallace I have, as I said, we're having some technical difficulties, but she's talking about the three aspects of love, listeners, and I'm sure you would want to hear some more as soon as Dr. Wallace, I hope she's able to come back on before the show wraps. I was doing some reading, listeners. As soon as Dr. Wallace is back, I'll allow her to speak. We're in the winding down segment, and it was getting warm in here. I tell you, the AC is not enough for me right now, and it's at the lowest. But there are persons who said, they meet their partners, love at first sight, 3 days after. Them get proposal and bear things, but again, I think we have come to the realization that, as I said, for some person, because of their definition of love, they will say, yes, love at first sight exists, but really and truly, it's just the desire. Because love, according to Dr. Walker, as put forward by her, is really much deeper than what we really think it is or what it ought to be. I'm not sure if I have Dr. Walker. Dr. Wallace, are you back with us?
Yes, I am back.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, my dear.
Yeah. As I was saying before, the balance among these three aspects of love is likely to shift through the course of relationship, right? So after you have meet the person over time, sometimes you feel like you don't really like the person anymore. That's sometimes you can't that courtship, that type of love that you felt for the person in the beginning stage of the relationship, sometimes it's gone. So you realize that it wasn't in love. It was just an attraction to the person, and in that moment you have that, that fire that is burning inside that Dr. Hutchinson speaks about, that blood, the blushing thing that,
yeah.
She still have that type of, infatuated love. You understand? A strong dose of these three components. When you have those strong dose of these love things, then you know, yes, I love you. This is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. This is the person I want to marry and have children with and grow old with. You understand? So when you have those three loves, it is what seals the relationship.
All right. Dr. Wallace, look here. Dr. Wallace, come true with the knowledge tonight, So all of you listeners out there who believe, say, some girl will meet the little man them with the money, I want to say, Ray, me love him because I have money. Ray, look here now, we no cut it out. You people are desiring for the individual. You people have a little feelings towards the individual. So as we wind down tonight, as you know, every week we give our panelists that last 10-second thing to actually put the cherry on the nightcap for our listeners. And I'm going to start with Dr. Wiggins tonight to give her 10 seconds feedback again on our topic, love at first sight. So Dr. Wiggins, 10 seconds, take it away.
Yes, what I would like to add about the topic concerning love at first sight is like what the songwriter says, take time to know her, take time to get to know the person. Don't just jump in to say it's love at first sight, even though you might feel that way. Take time to get to know the person, know everything about them, go out on a date, go out for dinner, have some fun together, and get to know this individual that you're going to be with.
All right, cool. Dr. Smith, right over to you.
All right, and just to add to Dr. Wallace, I will emphasize on that for love, it takes three components: the intimacy, the passion, the decision, or commitment. So if you are missing one, the triangle is not complete. This is the only triangle that you should be a part of when it comes on to love. And yes, similarities might be there, the attraction might be there, But as them said, bird can't fly on one wing. So make sure you have all the elements of love. Don't be like a Dr. Hutchinson who experiences eros, who falls in and out of love because of attraction.
All right, Dr. Cousins, over to you, my dear. Your final take, your 10 seconds.
Okay, for me, I just know that love at first sight is not real. It's just physical attraction that persons are, experiencing. So for me, ensure that you get to know a person before you think it's love.
All right. Doctor, sorry, my dear, may I tell you the topic? So I had tonight, I have my tongue tie up. Look here now. Dr. Hutchinson, your 10 seconds.
Well, for me, just as what Miss Dr. Wiggins said, I mean, take time to know the individual. There's a courting part, there's a dating part, but take your time, because we sometimes fall into a ditch and people do, they dress in disguise, right? And many of them are wolf in sheep clothing females. So take your time, please.
All right. Dr. Walker, what says you in your last 10 seconds?
All right. So people sometimes confuse love at first sight with lust at first sight. So let's look at the Jamaican context for a quick second. So someone, when they look at Jamaican woman, they must say, baby, your shape nice, I love you, that
right. That's our regular, let me hear that, right? That's so.
Not love at first. So be careful and know which is it love, which is it lust. Personally, I don't believe it. I don't believe in love at first sight.
All right, thank you so much. And Dr. Wallace, you're going to take us out the house with your final 10 seconds, darling.
Okay, sweetheart. And for me, I believe that when you have, I will reiterate what I said earlier, having intimacy, passion, and commitment, knowing about the three components of love may help couples avoid pitfalls in their relationship. Work on the areas that need improvement or help them recognize when it might be time to end the relationship or if it's time to go further.
All right, my listeners. All right, my listeners, thank you so much. And again, I am extending thanks to our sponsors, Black Stallion. May I tell you tonight, may I tell you why I look like the panelists, why may I tell you like them drink up enough of that tonight, because them come out strong. And we'll talk about the rare nephew, overproof rum, I tell you. To take us out tonight, we're gonna play Turbulence. And him say him want name and number because I love at first sight, right true. So we're gonna take you out with Turbulence tonight with his words, because he want name and number. And Dr. Hutchinson look like you can reach out to Turbulence right there. So so
you go on, you
don't
go on.
it. Yes.
I don't want such
yes. Yes. Right, the song. Hear him now. It was love at first sight. When I saw you first time, and I knew from that moment that your thoughts and your deeds were golden. Goosebumps came all over me when I look into your eyes. Okay. You were so